This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, welcome to Sellers Commerce. We are debuting our latest webinar today, which is called Distributors Welcome to the New Normal. My name is Kenneth Deheve. I'm a Senior Content Director with Sellers Commerce. I am joined today with Nancy Cardona. She's our National Sales Manager. Nancy, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
We are really delighted to have you guys watching with us and watching this video, because we have a lot of great information to share with everyone, and we cannot wait to get started. So to give you a little background on what this presentation is going to be about exactly, this is to help all of our distributors, large and small, trying to help them by giving them useful tips and helpful advice on how they can not only survive COVID, but learn how to thrive. Because as we all know, this is a very difficult situation that most of us find ourselves in. And a lot of businesses are looking to try to develop new ways of trying to come up with new business to combat the effects that COVID has had on a lot of us and a lot of our businesses. So we're just going to give you, our expert advice, what we've learned, other distributors are doing, and to help you usher in this new era and to help you welcome you to this new normal that we are finding ourselves in. So in our next slide, we are going to talk to you about what is currently going on with COVID-19. As of July 9th, which is the day of this recording, these numbers have now vastly been changed in the last few days. There are now 11 million diagnosed cases of COVID-19. There's 3 million in the United States alone, and there are over 215 affected countries as of right now. So as you can see, the effects of COVID are felt worldwide, globally, and it's something that's affecting every industry, every business in the entire world. So that's why we're kind of putting this together, because the conduct of business is now going to change forever as this crisis evolves. And explain that the pandemic will result in a shift of customers now embracing e-commerce, employees working from home, and distributors having to, become stronger to be able to combat this. Mm-hmm. So, that's why we're doing this webinar, because it's not only just to welcome you to the new normal, but it's also to, give you tips on how distributors themselves will be the ones that are going to lead us to this new normal, this new economy, this new industry, this new e-commerce level that we've reached. So that's kind of why we're doing this today. And we really hope to impart some helpful advice and pro tips from actual professionals like me and Nancy, and get you all up to speed. So in the next slide, I'm going to have Nancy take it from here. She's just going to go over what we need to do from here. What is the first step, Nancy?
So when we're embracing the new normal, which is embracing digital, we have to look at how we're going to partner with our customers. We have kind of lived in an era where we have, face-to-face communications with our customers by going to their offices and going to showrooms. This is now, how do we embrace our customers online? How we take those face-to-face sales meetings and do that differently. We now have to go out to the customer more than we ever have in the past, to let them know we're here, to make their buying processes as easy as they were before, if not possibly easier. How we're going to do it, it's kind of the million-dollar question. For retailers and distributors who don't have an online presence now, that's going to be key. For those who do, how to make that online presence even better.
Yeah.
Distributors tend to have websites that show products, but people don't necessarily get to order off the website. So now it's going to be more about having that online catalog that really emphasizes the product range of a distributor, and allows a shopper to either come on and buy or create a quote store for products that they'd like to get pricing on. But it now has to be more than just that website of beautiful products. It's got to go to the next level. And, are the distributors ready to go to that next step?
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that. That's why I think our first step has to really be for distributors, which is in the next slide. The first thing you can do is creating your own website. It is, oh, excuse me, I misspoke. I think that's why I think building a physical store is one thing, but creating an online presence is a vastly different experience because there's so many more components to a digital storefront that you haven't had to deal with yet. This is putting all your catalogs online. This is building a social media presence for you. It's building a new way to market yourselves. And I think it's a lot of things that we haven't dealt with before. And harking back to Nancy's point, I think a lot of us are used to sales and transactions that are done primarily face to face. So, it's harder to build that trust with your customers when you don't have the benefit of being in the same room with them and being able to look at them when they're speaking to you. So that's why that's why the first thing you really have to do is download video software in order to be able to connect with your customers. I think Nancy went back.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
There we go. There we go.
There you go. So the first thing you really need to do is download video conferencing software like Zoom or Skype. It's, we live in a digital world, and it's a phone call and a text message and an email is one thing, but there's a certain personal element that's missing from it. So that's why if you're going to jump over to digital selling and to digital marketing, you really need to have a way to be able to interact with people face to face. And one of the best things you can do is download video conferencing software like Skype or Zoom, just because then you're able to actually you can recreate that experience with a customer, face-to-face customer experience that you can't get with just a phone or a call. So that's really what will help you maintain that trust you have with your customers, and be able to.
We've always used GoToMeeting for demonstrations, and just during COVID, I've made a point of making sure my camera is on. It really lends to a better experience when you are seeing face to face with clients, but especially new prospects.
Yeah, definitely. It's really important to let your partners and your customers see you so you can maintain that trust.
Exactly.
A lot easier to lose it when it's just a phone call or an email, especially when it comes to new business. You want to be able to see each other, make sure you can trust the other person, make sure you trust your partner, make sure they trust you. It's a symbiotic relationship. So
sure, build your rapport.
Exactly. So that's why that's our first pro tip. Our second pro tip, if you want to go to the next slide, is to download a customer relationship management program. This is very important. If you haven't done this yet, I know a lot of distributors have, but for everybody else in the world who hasn't, this is very, very important, actually. This is very crucial. This is another way to maintain that customer relationship in a way that a lot of people have not done before. A CRM, like HubSpot or Salesforce, gather content. There's so many different ones out there. Oracle is a good one. What it does is it just uses data analysis about your customer's history with your company to help improve your business relationships. with your customers. It has a very specific focus on customer retention and ultimately driving your future sales growth. It's very, very important that you download a CRM. It's just, like I said before, a very, very good way to maintain your relationships with your customers, get them through your buying process, and help them become a customer for life and not just for the time being. So, you know, you can track a lot of your leads, you can track your leads. It gives you great lead management. You know, helps figure out where all your customers are in your pipeline, whether they're, you know, a marketing qualified lead, or if they're a sales qualified lead, or if they're just a subscriber. Whatever the case is, it helps you get them from being just a stranger to a giant advocate for your company. So this is just another way to help you improve those relationships without the benefit of being able to see each other face to face.
Okay.
So the next point we want to encourage is that, you know, to help you embrace the new normal is really to embrace e-commerce. A lot of distributors just have, you know, their storefronts, their factories, but now it's come to a point where you have to develop a physical, not just a physical store, but a digital store for your company as well. You know, there's a lot of talk about how COVID has kind of given rise to the industry of e-commerce. You know, distributors who are excelling right now during the pandemic are the ones that are findable online. They're the they're the ones that our customers are going to directly to the distributor websites, not just as a second or third resort, but a first resort. They're going to distributor sites first.
Yep.
They're cutting out the middleman right now. And that's why I think the first thing you can do, the best thing you can do right now, is to create your own website so you can become reachable online. That's the first step you should take in rebranding yourself as more than just a distributor, but as a retailer yourself. In fact, that's what. Oh, go back real quick. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button.
There's an increase of over 400% in e-commerce sales in just 1 month. So it's very, very crucial right now that one of the first few things you do is to create your own website and build your own digital storefront. Did you have anything to add to that, Nancy?
You know, I would say I've talked to many people, many distributors, retailers over the last few years, and we have an informational page. That's all we need. That's all we need. And I've kind of talked to them for years about, you know, it's really time to kind of dip your toe into the water. Let's go with more of a full e-commerce. And well, now all of a sudden everybody understands that an informational page is great, but you have to have more than just an informational website. You have to be able to show everything you offer to a customer, and you have to be able to take orders now because storefronts are not open. And whether this is something that's only going to last a while or something that's going to last a very long time, everybody has to quickly make a change in the way they're doing business.
Yeah.
It's not something that can wait any longer. It is something that people have to do now because everybody is making the change, and you don't want to be the last one to be part of the change. You want to be changing as quickly as you can because your customers are counting on it. It's not just about future customers. It's also about your current customers. That's your greatest base you have to protect.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What's our next pro tip that we have for our customers?
Pro tip 4. Streamline the e-commerce experience.
Yeah, for this one, it's not enough to just have a website. It's I think that very vitally important to have not just a website and an online store and just a place to sell your products, but you need to create a very strong digital storefront that's easy for your customers to use, and it's very simple. And this is just a quick list of things that you can do to ensure that your user experience is very streamlined and easy to navigate and has all the functionality that they need. Maintain a broad selection of products. Keep your catalogs on there. In fact, a digital storefront allows for a lot of unique benefits that your print catalogs can't benefit from. You're able to store more photos of your products. You can have more specs on there. You can update the catalog, in real time. You can make changes to it whenever you want. So there's a lot of benefits to having your selection of products be available, having your catalogs be available, online for anyone to be able to see. Also having an easy checkout and ordering system, something very simple. Having very simple shipping rates and rules and regulations, clear pricing, a strong search function so people are able to look for whatever it is they want. Having an easy quote request system, simple contact information, just ways for people to be able to reach you, and just don't make it confusing. Just don't make the process confusing to the point where they give up or they don't try. People decide very quickly once they go on a website whether this is what they're looking for or if this seems like it's not what they're looking for. So
Yeah, a website shouldn't be daunting.
Yeah, the more chaotic or the more difficult it is to find something, the more likely you are to lose that potential customer. So this is just tips and tricks you can adopt for yourself to streamline the e-commerce experience for your customers.
Okay.
And then
go to pro tip number 5.
Yes, pro tip number 5 is a really important one that I think a lot of people, even in a lot of businesses, even in this day and age, are still not utilizing to their full potential. And that's, utilizing SEO. So our pro tip number 5 is increasing your ranking on Google. If you're going to create a website, if you're going to create a digital storefront, where you place on Google just became very, very important to you. That's why it's best to be able to implement SEO practices into your marketing strategy. So that way, when people try to search for companies that are in your sector, you want to populate as close to the first ranking on Google as possible. And a lot of the ways that you can do that are very simple ways. They're not very difficult. They seem daunting at first, but they're actually not. It's just all it takes is research. All it takes is just finding the best practices that work for your company. And some of the things that can include are using SEO-friendly keywords, things that you can write into your blogs or your articles, so that way people, when they type it, they can find that way when you type those keywords into a search function, you're able to generate and populate your website because those words were on that page, were on your page. So that way it'll come up faster and closer to the first ranking on Google. So using SEO-friendly keywords, using meta descriptions, using good images, using corresponding alt tags, backlinking. Backlinking just refers to being able to put links in your articles or your blog posts that help get people from one blog to the next blog. So that way they're not just seeing the one, they're getting to all of your content. And you're not losing them. You're getting them from one place to the other place on your website. So using just generally good content, good rule of thumb, use quality content, not quantity content. Because whatever you put out there will become associated with your business. If you put out, not great quality content, but quantity of content, people are not necessarily going to think that you're the leader of this industry, that you're the expert on this information. They might think that you're not that way, and you don't want to think that way. You want people to think that you're the leader of whatever sector you're in, that you're the hub and the centralized hub of this information. You want to become an expert in whatever it is that you dabble in. So, you know, being able to put out good quality content will make people associate quality with your company, that you don't just put anything out there. So, you know, well-researched material, expert opinion material, that kind of thing is really important.
And I think this is the one thing people tend to forget to do.
Yeah, this is one of the things that people definitely are not taking full advantage of. I think a lot of people look at SEO, they look at Google, they look at the search ranking, they see it all as like too complicated or it's too much of a chore, and it's not a chore, it's not complicated at all. It's just finding the right things that work for your company. It's just finding the right avenue for yourself.
Okay.
But anyway, let's go on to our next pro tip, which, Nancy, is
diversify your offerings.
exactly. So our third final step that you can take is embracing your potential. It's just time to start thinking about how you can expand and evolve your business in a way that helps you, like I said at the beginning, not thrive, but not just survive, but thrive during the era of COVID-19. And one of the first things you can do to embrace your potential is just to diversify your offerings. You don't have to be known as just the company that does this or does that or the other thing. You also are this company that can do this and you can do that as well. You can rebrand yourself. You can consider a wealth of different things to expand your business and your horizons. The new normal that emerges from this crisis may be that the value of a distributor is not to just stock products and distribute them when ordered. Instead, the role of the distributor may be to help customers when help is needed. It's during these crises and also during digital transformations or any other type of problem that might happen in the future, like a labor shortage or a market disruption, whatever the case is. So distributors can play, this is exactly how distributors are going to lead us to the new normal. They can play a leadership role right now by assembling products, ideas, or experiences, or vendors, or more to create goods in the economic sense. So positive outcomes achieved by overcoming the scarcity of those solutions. So this is exactly how you can become the leader of this new normal. Distributors can be the ones that take us there, that can lead us to this new way of doing business, of doing B2B commerce, e-commerce.
Sure.
So, and a couple of other things. There's an emerging narrative that global supply chains will transform as businesses decouple from distant sources offering low cost labor. This change may happen, but its story does not explicitly position distributors as an essential partner for a new normal. Distributors must tell their own stories, starting with a radical mind shift, something like distance kills, intimacy thrills. Customer value is optimized by partners that stand beside their customers where they work and live, in local markets, communities, the like.
Yep.
Distant sourcing is a singular pursuit of low-cost labor yields, inflexible sourcing, and fragile profits. Localness, by utilizing localness, it creates shared experiences that enable predictive risk and rapid mitigation solutions. That's why, always consider locally sourced products, because it does create those shared experiences with people. And a couple of other things you can do to diversify your offerings: survey your customers, just ask them questions. Send out you can snail mail the survey, you can put it up on your website, you can email it to them. Just get to know who these people are, so that way you can find out what they're looking for, what they want, and also who they are, what their interests are. Psychographical information is just as important. you can cater to to what their wants and needs are better by how well you know them. So there's a lot of different ways that you can expand your horizons. You don't have to be known as just the distributor. You're also the repairman, you're also the retailer, you're the vendor, you're the pre-assembler. Like, these are all things that you can do, and it all just starts with rebranding yourself. What else do you want to be known as besides a distributor?
Exactly. And, I think through creating this new online brand presence is a great opportunity for a distributor to get in front of their customers and ask those questions of how can we better serve you? So many of our customers don't list their services on their websites. We talk about surveys. As a company, we survey customers every single month. What are we doing good? What aren't we doing great? What are new things you would like to see? For us, it's what kind of new apps and software functionality. But this is a great time for distributors to hear what their customers, what they're seeing out in the industry that they would like to see from them. This is a great time for all those touch points.
Yeah, you can get to know your customers in a completely different way than you ever did before. Why not take advantage? People like talking about themselves, so just give them a platform to do that, and they will give you all the information you need to be able to give them what they need, what they want.
Absolutely.
So let's give them the chance. But anyway,
Okay.
So our last pro tip is to look towards the future. Obviously, things are not going to change, at least with COVID, for a while. We might be in it for the long haul with this one. But, change isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's about harnessing the opportunity and making something of it. Not everything's necessarily a bad thing. There's always a silver lining. So, creating that digital storefront, creating your online presence, that is your silver lining. That is exactly how you're going to get through all this. And some of the ways that you can do that, are just integrating new artificial intelligence, introducing new platforms, just helping you get, automated, streamlined, and then hiring the IT staff to support those changes. It might be worthwhile to now have an IT person on retainer, or to have a full staff who can help you manage your digital platform, who can help you, do all those things, who can help you with your marketing, help you build your website. Like, it's now at that point where, having an IT person is actually too invaluable to forget to have. So, this is not the way a lot of people used to have to do things, but this is now the future. So embrace the future of technology. Embrace that this is how the world is now. It's might be scary. It might be something you've never really wanted to do, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing.
No, be excited for it.
Exactly. So, and lastly, just breathe. It's a lot of this is scary. I know a lot of businesses that have closed and have not been able to recover, and I know a lot of people, everybody's going through their own personal things right now, but it's okay. We're all in this together. We're all going to be okay. So just remember to breathe throughout the process. It may all seem daunting at first, to have to create a digital storefront, or to have to build your own website beyond just being an informational website. All of it can be very daunting, but it doesn't have to be. It can be fun. It can be exciting, like Nancy said. Just have to embrace it, and that's really what we're trying to tell you here. It can work out beautifully if you just give it time.
Give technology a chance.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
All right. I think that concludes our webinar presentation. I think so. Check the last slide.
There we go.
Beautiful. Yes. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. It was a pleasure to go through our presentation with you. You know, we honestly stay safe, stay home, and remember we're all in this together. Nancy, did you have anything to add?
No, just, we look forward to bringing these webinars to everyone in the future. It's something we used to do in the past that we're kind of bringing back in. So, keep an eye out for what's new to come, and we'll bring something new to you shortly.
Definitely. All right. See you guys next time.
All right. Bye. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Nancy. Bye-bye.
Bye.